Come on in, Mr.Konett.
Hello, neighbors. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a student just like you. Nobody can do all the things you do, so why don't you join us and we will have fun. We'll teach you some things and then we'll be done. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my student? Come on over, student. Well, as you can see today, I'm wearing my hat because it's cold outside. Even though it's April, it's still really cold. So, to start today, we would like to introduce another guest. Our guest's name is Darth Igneous, and she will be joining us for episode 3, Revenge of the Sis. Darth Igneous, why don't you join us?
Hello.
Hello, Darth Igneous. How are you today?
Doing pretty well.
All right, great. Thank you for coming. And what would you like to talk to us about today?
Today we're going to talk about the rock cycle. So there are 3 main kinds of rocks. And this is a chart showing how they all interact. But I'm going to talk about it.
Let me get that closer to the camera so that we can get a better look, Darth Igneous. Seismic change here.
Okay, so at the very top we have igneous, which is the kind of rock that you get when you have melted rock that hardens. And I have some examples of igneous rocks right here. So this is one igneous rock. It's called basalt, and this forms from lava. Lava is outside of the earth. This is a kind of rock called a granite, like your countertops. This is the kind of rock that forms from magma, or inside the earth. So all rocks start off igneous at the very top. And then, when they cool, they usually become igneous, and then they get weathered. So, following the blue arrow, we get to a sedimentary rock. So igneous, it weathers, little bits of it fall apart, and it comes back together as a sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rocks are rocks that are formed of other bits of rocks or other things. So if we look at this rock right here, so this is an igneous rock called a limestone, and that orange thing you see in the middle there is a fossil. This is a conglomerate. It kind of looks like it's got lots of pebbles in it. That's because it's made of lots of pebbles. The last kind of rock is a metamorphic rock over here in this corner. If you take an igneous or a sedimentary rock and you put it under heat and pressure deep, deep in the earth, it turns into a metamorphic rock. So here are 2 kinds of metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks are usually shiny and they have stripes. This one is a gneiss rock. It's called gneiss, G-N-E-I-S-S, gneiss. And this one is called a quartzite. So this is what happens when you take a granite, like this one, an igneous rock, and you put it under heat and pressure. It turns into a gneiss. But if you take a conglomerate or a sandstone and you put it under heat and pressure, you get a quartzite. Any other questions, Mr. Konett?
Not for now, Darth Igneous. That's a lot to take in for me and our viewers. So we're going to keep it at that for right now. And thank you very much for that great information. And I would encourage you to go when you're out for walks with your family or out in your backyard to look for rocks and try to identify them as one of the 3 different types of rocks. You're probably not going to find any igneous rocks around here.
Not unless you're looking at your countertops.
Right. Or you are living around a volcano, which means that you're probably not an East Lansing School student. So, all right. We'll plan our trip to a local volcano sometime later. All right. Well, thank you very much, Darth Igneous. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for the information.
Yeah. Good luck, Mr. Konett's class.
Thanks. Okay, so next we have our Funko Pop for the day. Today we are featuring the former President Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was the president from 1977 to 1981. Jimmy Carter, President Carter, is the oldest living president at 95 years old. He grew up in Georgia, where he was a senator and then went on to become president. He grew up as a peanut farmer, and he won the Nobel Prize in 2002, and he went on after being president to become very active in a organization called Habitat for Humanity, where they build homes for people in need. So he's done some amazing things during the course of his life, and was not only a great president, but also a great human being, which is probably even more important. So that's Jimmy Carter. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over our fractions and decimals, which we started last episode, and we're going to continue on with this episode, and we just need a little support with a paper towel here. As I remember last time, we were having trouble because the markers were not working out very well. So we got some new fresh markers, and hopefully that will help us to get this right for you. Thank you, and thank you. Okay, so if you remember, we had 4 jars of Nutella, which have disappeared because, of course, I ate them all. And we talked about the fraction of 1 jar out of 4 being 1/4. Yes, you can see that all right? Perfect. Then we talked about taking that fraction and doing a division problem in order to turn that fraction into a decimal. So, as we said before, the fraction is divided into, well, really 3 parts. You have the 1, which is the numerator. You have the line, which divides the numerator and the denominator, and in this case, the denominator is 4. So, if we were to change this to be a division problem, remember the divisor is also the denominator. So if the denominator is 4, then we're also going to put the number 4 here inside the bracket. Excuse me, other way around. Back that up. The divisor is going on the outside of the bracket. So the 4 goes on the outside, and then on the inside of the bracket, we put the numerator. Now, if you have 1, then it's more difficult to divide that 1 into 4 parts. So we are going to change this to make it easier to divide. So we're going to put a decimal point here next to the 1. And then we're going to put what I like to call phantom 0 after the decimal point. And then we're going to take that decimal point and we're going to put it right up here. And this is the area where we will put the answer. So we're going to pretend like that decimal point isn't there for the purpose of dividing. So 10 divided by 4 is what? And another way to say that is, what number can I put here and multiply it by 4 to get close to 10? Have you guessed? That's right, 2. Because 2 times 4 is 8, and that's as close as you can get to 10. If you did 3 times 4 is 12, and that's too big. So 2 times 4 is 8. We put an 8 here, and then we're going to subtract. Remember, we're pretending like the decimal is not here. So this is 10 take away 8, which is 2. Now, we have a new division problem. The new division problem is 2 divided by 4. Well, that's just not going to work out because you can't take 2 and divide it into 4 without having fractions, right? So we're going to put another phantom 0 here next to the 2. So now instead of 2 divided by 4, we have 20 divided by 4. So what number can we put here and multiply by 4 to equal 20? That's right, 5. So we put a 5 here, even a shaky 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Work. There we go. 20. And we subtract and we get 20 take away 20 is 0. So we have the decimal or the fraction of 1/4, is a decimal of 0.25, which is, I think, as far as we got last time. So 0.25 as a decimal can be converted into a percent. When you're doing a percent, you're just saying, how much out of 100 do I have of your decimal? So the trick is that you start with a decimal, 0.25, and you think about that fraction. It becomes what 0.25 out of 100. Well, what would that be? So what the trick is, because in the number 100, I'm going to write it over here in the corner, you have 2 zeros. That means that we move our decimal 2 places. So we're going to take the decimal point, and maybe I'll use even a different color so that you can see it more clearly. Oh, look at that. The magic of movie making. There's a 0.25 right there. And I will move that decimal point 2 places. We'll try that again. 2 places. And that changes this number, instead of 0.25, to be 25. And that is our percent, 25%. Okay? So we started with 1/4. We did some division, and we got the decimal of 0.25. And we moved the decimal over 2 spaces to tell us that this is 25%. Now, all of these are equal. 1/4 is equal to 0.25, which is equal to 25%. All of those quantities are equal, the same. All right? So next time we will go over some different numbers and convert from fraction to decimal to percent. All right? And on that note, I need to give you today's morning math. So I will bring it up to the camera, and we will make sure that it is in the right place and that it's not blurry. Does it look blurry to you? All right, pause, and then you'll be able to write down all your math problems, and you can turn it into me via email, and then of course I will be keeping track of how much candy I give you. Or maybe you will just tell me that I owe you like 500 pieces of candy. Either way. All right, cool. So, good luck with your morning math. Once again, we have some things on our table to help us to fight the COVID-19 virus, which, as we learned in the last episode, is called COVID-19 because it was discovered in 2019. So we have our handy dandy mask, and if you are going outside of your home area and you're going to be around other people that you are not living with right now, then you need to make sure that you wear a mask. And the mask, the mask actually not only does it serve to protect you in some ways, but more than that, it serves to protect other people, yes, Froggy, other people that you interact with. So if you happen to have a sickness, the mask does not allow for the virus or to be able to be transferred from you to someone else. The other thing that we have that is new here is Lysol spray. If you buy something at the store or you get a box from the mail, then it's a good idea to spray it with a disinfectant spray. And then what we like to do in my family is we put it into quarantine for a day or more so that it can sit, because we have some research that says that the virus can exist on things like metal or cardboard or paper for from several hours to more than a day. So just to be safe, we spray things down and then we put them into quarantine for a day or more before we bring them into our house. And of course, you can use disinfectant wipes on door handles and your brother or sister, or maybe the top of somebody's shiny head, or other surfaces that you think might have a virus. So please make sure that you're using all the right safety precautions. And of course, wash your hands a lot. because that, they say, is the best way to keep you from getting the virus or transmitting the virus to someone else. So we're going to sing our song, but the one challenge that we have for you is to put in the comments your top 5 stay-at-home movies. And Home Alone doesn't count because you're probably living with other people, so you can't have Home Alone as one of your top 5 stay-at-home movies. Top 5 movies you watch with your family while you're at home is the challenge. Put it in the comments. You can watch Home Alone, but you can't put it in the list. Okay, I think I already covered that, producer. All right, join me over here for our song. We good? Okay. Again, this is called Stay at Home. Mostly written by me, but somehow, in some way, also written by Lena. Yeah, here we go. Stay at home. Stay at home. Be healthy and don't you roam. Just stay at home. This virus has got us kinda down. Can ride around with neighbors and play around. All of our friends seem so far away. There's no school to fill up our dusty brains. Just stay at home. Stay at home. Be healthy and don't you roam. Just stay at home. We can still be loving and happy too by spending time with our healthy family. Wash your hands and cover your mouth. Don't go to grandma's, don't you travel south. Just stay at home. Stay at home. Be healthy and don't you roam. Just stay at home. Maybe we can see each other on Zoom. Remember to be nice in the chat room. Keep 6 feet from friends and from strangers. Wear a mask against viral dangers. And stay at home. Stay at home. Be healthy and don't you roam. Just stay at home. Be safe. See you next time.